If you're a type 2 diabetic, you've probably been told things on Instagram like count your calories, count your macros, and save some calories for the weekend so that you can enjoy a cheat meal. And the only reason you find yourself enjoying those cheat meals is because you still have cravings. And cravings are the result of some of the problems that we're going to talk about in this video today. And the big problem that we're going to talk about, I've got some notes here, is insulin resistance. No one is looking at hormonal health. Everyone is treating your body as if it is simple endothermodynamics, as in you eat 2,000 calories and you burn 3,000, you will lose weight. That is cool and all, but if you have metabolic syndrome, if you have diabetes, if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, pre-diabetes, or you're struggling with a slow metabolism, following that guidance is not going to help you at all. In fact, it's going to cause you to backtrack. It's going to cause you to snowball and to crash diet and to binge and to continue to feel like the scale is not budging and that you aren't getting results, and it's going to make you feel hopeless. And it's important to know that the advice that you see on Instagram works for everyday people with healthy metabolisms. But if you're watching this video, chances are those things don't apply to you. So I want to share with you 3 things that you can try that's been getting my clients incredible results, losing 2 to 3 pounds of body fat per week, and things that I've been using to keep body fat off all year round, keep my blood sugar stable, and pack on lean muscle. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is fixing your gut biome. So your gut, some people call it your second brain. We know that the gut connects to the brain through a large nerve system called the vagus nerve. And the purpose of the vagus nerve is to communicate to the brain what foods you need. And when you eat sugar, so let's say that you're following this, eat 200 grams of carbs per day and, save some calories so that you can, have dessert every day or whatever it is. Some people say things like, oh, I can eat chocolate every day because I just reduce my calories. But the problem with that is that you're feeding the gut bacteria that cause bloat, inflammation, and insulin resistance. And when you feed them sugary foods, and I've been there, always tell the story of when I was 16 years old and I got my first Apple Watch, I would run and burn 400 calories, and then I would eat 400 calories of Snickers. I love Snickers. The nut, the caramel, the chocolate, it was one of my favorite chocolates. But the problem with this is that when you have that Snicker, you are feeding the bacteria in your gut that simply live off of sugar. And it's only going to make you want to have more sugar. And what you will notice is that you begin questioning, you begin saying, how can I have less calories of olive oil and eggs and fish and good foods so that I can have more calories of dessert? And it changes the way that you prioritize the foods that you eat. So how can we fix your gut biome and how can we reset your metabolism? This is the first thing, one of 3. Okay, the first point is we need to bomb your gut. And the best way to do that is to focus on this exact strategy. So the first thing I would do is increase glutamine intake. Glutamine is the best thing you can do for reducing inflammation and healing your gut. You can either supplement glutamine, it's a white powder, it's flavorless, and you can add it to a smoothie, or you can have it with water, or you can have it with a protein shake. But glutamine is very rich inside of red meat. So I would encourage you to get grass-fed, high-quality red meat from your local farmer. That's going to be loaded with glutamine, and that's going to be the first step in healing your gut. The second step in healing your gut is full-fat organic yogurt. Yogurt is packed with all of the good bacteria, the bacteria that we need to break down sugar, to break down food, and to metabolize it correctly so that we store less fat and our blood sugar is 10 times as stable. So what I like to do is have a bowl of yogurt. I'll sometimes add a scoop of protein in there, or I'll add some mixed nuts or some high fiber berries like raspberries, blackberries, or blueberries. And I'll make that as a dessert because I really, really enjoy it. And it's going to help increase the army of good bacteria that you need. And those good bacteria are going to fight for dominance against the bad bacteria that are causing cravings, bloat, and inflammation. So that is what I would start with. Another option, and this isn't so beginner friendly, it does take time and it is tough, is to simply starve them out. The less sugar that you eat, the less carbs that you eat, you will simply be killing and culling the bacteria inside of your gut that are demanding you to eat more sugar, that are demanding you to stuff your face at midnight when you get those cravings before bed. I remember waking up or staying up until 11 o'clock, opening the fridge, my face getting blinded with that fridge light, and then stuffing my face with chocolate mousse or custard or whatever it might be. I've been there. But now let's talk about point number 2. Point number 2 is going to help you give your body rest and give your liver rest. And we know that your liver plays an essential role in converting carbs to energy. But the problem is that it's a muscle, or it functions like a muscle where it needs rest. If you're overworking it, it gets inflamed, and that process becomes less effective, and this results in insulin resistance and it drops your metabolism. So, how are we going to give our body rest? How are we going to give our liver rest? And that is going to be biblical fasting. So, if you are a diabetic or if you are someone who has battled obesity, you have probably heard about some of the benefits of fasting. You've probably heard the success stories of guys getting off of metformin, guys getting off of insulin, guys shredding 45 pounds. And it's all true. Look, I do suggest that you take a look at your medication and speak to your doctor before you try it, but you are going to get some pretty insane results. But fasting is thousands of years old, and it's something that I do religiously. I do it maybe 5 days a week, and I want you to start with a 16-8. And what that means is your fasting window is 16 hours and your eating window is 8 hours. So what I recommend for my clients who are beginners at this is have your first meal at noon and have your last meal at 8 p.m. So you can eat at 12, but you must stop eating by 8. So you've got 8 hours of eating, and then from 8 p.m. till 12 p.m. the next day, you do not touch a single calorie. No drinking calories, no eating calories, none of that, to keep your insulin low. This is going to give your body some time to recycle nutrients from dead cells that usually just sit there and ferment because you're not giving your body the space to recycle and take those nutrients out of the dead cells, to flush them out, and to apply those nutrients to cellular regeneration, to creating new cells, to healing. On top of this, you're going to give your body some time to break down fats that are clinging to your liver, and your liver is going to have space to heal. This is going to dramatically increase your sensitivity to insulin, meaning that when you break your fast, all of the food is going to go into the cell instead of sitting in your blood, causing AGES, which is artery and blood vessel rusting. And this happens to diabetics. I've spoken to so many of them that battle neuropathy, which is when your arteries and your blood vessels begin to decay from this blood sugar sitting in your blood constantly. And that is another warning sign of insulin resistance. Now, let's talk about biblical foods. So, another thing you can do to fix your metabolism is to switch your body from burning carbs for energy to burning fats for energy. I'm not telling you to cut out carbs entirely, but if you can stay under 50 grams of carbs per day, that would be ideal. I do have a video on my channel where I break down what 50 grams of carbs looks like. And I'm not telling you to cut out your favorite foods. In fact, there are so many high fiber, low carb alternatives out there on Amazon and other marketplaces where you can find incredibly healthy alternatives to your favorite meals. If you do want to get recipe lists and guides, I've got free guides in the description. You can sign up to my newsletter And I'm going to send you some of my favorite sweeteners, my favorite diabetic healthy drinks, my favorite ways to fast, my favorite supplements, and some of my favorite meals. But the goal is to switch from eating very starchy foods like breads, pastas, wheat, flours, and to switch to fats, fiber, and protein. So think of mixed nuts, think of avocado, think of coconut oil, think of olive oil, think of chicken thighs or a steak. And what that is going to mean, because fat kicks your insulin up a lot less compared to carbs. So what that's going to mean is that your body is releasing less insulin. And because it's releasing less insulin, your body is going to resensitize. Because insulin resistance is basically when you have flooded your system too much. Constantly flooding your system with insulin means that your cells become unresponsive. They see insulin come in and they think, this is just an average day. It's just a normal day. Let me pretend that you don't exist. When in reality, insulin is a vital sign. It should be like at the beach when lifeguards are like standing on those little posts with their binoculars, and maybe there's a shark, and then a red flag comes up, and it's like, shark, shark, everyone get out of the water. That's how your body should treat insulin. But instead, your body is treating insulin like the spam folder on your email inbox, where it's sending signals every single like hour. Dude, please stop eating carbs. And your spam folder is getting filled, but you don't check your spam folder. You're there in your inbox. And this is why a lot of the diabetics that I speak to battle chronic fatigue, and they rely on energy drinks, and they rely on sugar-free Coke and constantly having coffees. Some of them smoke cigarettes and other stimulants because their body is unable to take the energy that's sitting inside of it and putting it into the cell so that it can be used as fuel. And this is the sad reality. So just to recap, these three things are going to help you lose 2 to 3 pounds of body fat per week. This is the average result that my clients get, and you can too. And that's going to be fixing your gut biome, biblical fasting, and biblical foods. If you want to see some videos on the training and exercises that I do, you can watch this video here where I talk about the importance of building muscle for the long term. And as a diabetic, it's going to be the best thing you can do for your blood sugar and getting off of medication. So if you want to watch this video here, take a look there. But thank you so much for making me a part of your day. My name is Benjamin Green. I'm a diabetic health coach, and I'm on the personal mission of helping 10,000 Christian type 2 diabetic men beat medications, achieve metabolic freedom, and win back their energy for their career, their family, and their church. God bless you, and we'll be talking soon. Bye for now.